Time for a remodel, and we're going to get into it with this video. So let's get started and let's do some changes in our RV. Hi everyone, this is David with Tigner Adventures, and my wife Ninette and our little cat Tansy. We live full-time in our motorhome, and today we are going to start a new project. We happened to find at a liquidation sale some peel and stick tile. It's linoleum. That's little linoleum squares, and so we're going to get started on that. Now, the reason we're making this change is most of our unit is carpet, and the carpet is just so difficult to kind of keep clean, and so because of that, especially when we're boondocking and things, we figured that it'll be a lot better to have the floor be vinyl. It seems like most of the new RVs and things have something. They either have tile or they have actual vinyl looking tile, and we've looked at a couple units that have used this peel and stick tile squares, and they look really good, and they've had really good results with them. One of them, he says it's been over 4 years since it's been installed. Now, he had his done, by a professional flooring place, and so he paid a lot of money in our particular case because we got the tiles for actually 50 cents a square, so $15 a box, and so that's a lot cheaper than in the store. We actually looked at buying the planks also. We were going to go with the some kind of, it's a rubber type plank that looked like wood flooring, and it was gray wood looking, but since our whole rig is wood looking, it's not wood looking, it is wood. So it's oak. The kind of the gray flooring that looked like wood kind of competed against it, and so it didn't really match it very well. So these square tiles look more like marble or travertine type of a floor, and so it doesn't have that same grainy wood look to it. So it looks like it'll match everything a lot better, and so we're going to try that out and see how it looks. I mean, worst case, hey, it looks like crap, and we do it again. It's not a big deal because we're doing it ourselves, and we can do it for 3 times, is what I've always told my kids. We can do something 3 times for what it costs for us to pay someone else to do it for us. And so we're going to try this all out. We've got done some research. We've got some good insight on it, so we're going to try it out. So come along and let's check it out. Okay, so here is the before. We're going to kind of just show you all the before stuff so you can see we have taken the chairs out. All right. And we can see Tansy's little box over there. It sits actually in front of the passenger chair, and we normally turn that around and then we can work on the computer. So that one's gone. And if we just look down the floor here, you can see that the carpet is tough to keep it clean. What are you doing down here? Are you playing with your toy? You're sitting on all my boxes of tile. We actually bought 10 boxes of tile, so we got definitely enough. Should only end up using 2 or 3, but then if we decide to do the whole unit, we have enough for that too. We have pulled out all the carpet, the chairs, and everything is ready for the new flooring. Part of the process of doing the new flooring is we've got to put a floating base on there. Basically, it's a concrete base that you kind of pour on there, and it's a self-leveling base, so it's not really floating, it's just self-leveling. And then once it dries and everything, then we're all ready to go. And so the first thing we're going to do here is we're going to take this box that Tansy's found and playing in, and we're going to cut it up and mark it or put it around the vents and things, and tape around the sides of the walls and stuff, so when we pour this liquid out everywhere, it's kind of liquidy concrete, so that it actually self-levels. And then that way it won't be pouring down the vents or down any other holes that we might have. We have the floor all prepared, and we are ready to mix up the mix to pour in here. What I did was I put some cardboard around the vents so that stuff wouldn't pour down inside, and it gives it a little bit of lip. And then I also did blue tape everywhere where there was cracks and things around the walls. I don't want it to kind of go inside the walls. So that's kind of why I've done that. I've taken the engine cover off and just put a tarp around that for now, just to give me better access to that compartment. So I've got this Ultra Plan Easy mix that is a leveling compound. I'm going to put it into this 5-gallon bucket and fill it with water, get it all mixed up really good. And this is the diagram telling how to mix it, and then pour it out and spread it around. So the idea here is to not make a thick layer. It's just to mainly cover up the chipboard, make it nice and smooth the best that we can, and to level out some of those spots that have screws sticking up out of the floor a little bit. All right, so I got the mix. I'm gonna go ahead and start pouring it everywhere. We are done putting the leveling stuff on there, and now it's a matter of just letting it kind of sit and level and dry. So it's going to take a couple hours to do that, and then we'll be ready to kind of inspect it a little bit. But I think it'll be good. It's covering up all those little high spots that we had before, so that's what the intent of this is. So that's working good. It'll probably take a day for this to cure, and then at that point we'll put a sealant on it and start sticking the tiles down. The leveling compound is all dry, and you can see it's just all out there. We've been kind of walking on it, but it's all dry and just getting a little dirty. So we'll just vacuum that back up, and we've already drawn a line here that's going to be our guideline going across. One of the things that's a little perplexing is if I look down here by the door, for some reason there's something leaching out of the wood right here, or something. Looks like some kind of oil coming across right there into the leveling stuff. So I'm not really sure what that is. If anyone knows what that is, I mean, I'm guessing whatever glue on there when we put, it's might actually pop up right there. But at least it's a small little spot, so it shouldn't be too big a deal. But you know, and the little stuff we're going to put on the floor will hopefully protect that also. So we're actually going to put the tile in this on a diamond shape here, and Ninette's going to go over this morning to pick up some little spacers. We're actually going to put a 16th inch gap between these where we can actually put grout down, so it'll help actually, you know, separate out each individual one, kind of make it a little bit more noticeable. We have read all the instructions on the box here on how to actually put this all down, and it does say that we're supposed to make sure they're all pointing the same direction so that they all look the same once we put them down. So Ninette's vacuuming up the floor, and then as soon as she's done, then we'll be ready to put the primer on. So this is the primer, and it's a self-stick tile primer that we're going to actually put down on this. So we've got the self-leveling compound down. Now we're going to pour this into this paint tray and just kind of paint this out here to put this cover on here. Then we got to let it sit for 30 to 90 minutes. And so we'll do that, and then we'll be ready to actually start putting the tiles on. It's kind of interesting because it's almost like, well, it looks like milk. And it's pretty runny, so it'll be interesting to see how this actually goes on. So the floor is all dry. We're ready to start putting our tiles down, so we're kind of laying them out here, and we've determined that this is where we want the first one. So remember, we're doing this on a diagonal, and so we have a line that's going from this side all the way over there, and we have these little 1/8 spacers because we're going to actually grout between these and kind of highlight them. And so I've kind of figured out where I want the first one here. So this is where the first one goes, and I've actually set it down there already. And then I have this big hunk of metal because I don't have a roller. And I'm just sliding this over there. The same thing a roller does. And so we're just rolling that down. It is stuck in place. And now the next step is to start putting these little tile or these little spacers in here. And we've got to make sure that our direction is all going the same, which is going this way. So if we look on the bottom of this tile, we have a barcode here. So that's the direction it faces, but if I pull this off somewhere, there's also a line, I don't know if you can see that, right here with an arrow that's pointing that way. So it's pointing the same way as the barcode. And basically what we're going to do is we're just going to put these little spacers in here and then just start setting each one down and work our way across. So that's what we're doing.
Don't do that one. That one matches the last one.
Okay. Oh, and then Ninette is the one laying out the pattern. So, all right. So hand me the next one.
That one.
This one? All right. So peel these off. So we've got our arrow here, big arrow, and we're just going to set these in there one at a time. And then roll it, and we're just going to keep on doing this. It's going pretty good, and going down really easy. It sticks really great, so pretty excited about that. That primer really helps out a lot because that primer was sinking in a lot into the stuff, so that way there's no dust coming off there for it to, you know, gum up the glue and make it not sticky. So it's doing good. So I'm pretty excited about this, and we're just going to continue on through until we get it completely laid out, and then we'll come back and kind of cut out the edges as we go. Like for example, right here, you know, for this stairway, it's got half a sheet here we got to cut off when we put it in there. But other than that, it's looking really nice. Whew. Okay, well that finishes this part. So let's take a look at the floor. Not too bad looking. Boy, I'll tell you, all those little things on the sides there really take a lot of time. Sure gets sore on your knees after a while. Well, we have finished putting all the tile down and grouting the floor, and it has turned out really nice. Now, we do have a few issues to point out. We don't know if it's the heat or the lack of heat. I mean, we had the air conditioner on, but we stuck the tiles all down. Most of them stuck pretty good, but a few of them they're still, you know, not completely dry. So it's like it's just the adhesive didn't really dry all the way yet. It says wait 24 hours before we grouted, and so we've gone ahead and grouted. And the grout that we used was it's a silicone type base, you know, caulking, so that, you know, it allows things to move if it needs to. And that now is holding everything in place with no issues. But it was just that you know, it kind of took a little bit longer than we had planned because it's just, you know, kept kind of moving around, and so we'd have to, especially if you were pushing on one because you were leaning, it would just start sliding along because it wasn't completely dry yet. So that was an issue. But other than, you know, once we got past that, and Ninette said she would never use this type of grout again, and I think she said that when we did our house, you know, a long time ago, 15-20 years ago. She says, I'll never use that kind of grout again. It's really meant for places where certain things come together and there's movement, where the tile touches something, you know, you put this kind of stuff on there. She was kind of thinking the idea that, just like we said, you know, the stuff kind of moved a little bit, maybe this would help hold it in place. So we'll see. It looks like it's going to be fine, and of course, you know, it looks really big right now, but as soon as we put all the furniture back in here, then there's not a lot of room anyway. So it's like, we're not going to see the floor anyway, especially if she puts a little rug down in front of the couch. So, but that completes the flooring and everything. So we got this part of the remodel all done. The only thing we got left is just this little section up here that's around the engine compartment. We haven't really figured out what to do with that yet, but we're thinking of getting some kind of a carpet rug type setup, and just it was glued on there before, so we'll just spray it and re-glue it on there again. So we just haven't figured out exactly. I've kind of thought about getting a rubber mat kind of thing that goes over that. If you look at rentals, they have some kind of thing over it, and so I kind of want to look into that a little bit more before we actually put something there. But as it goes for now, this part of the remodel is done, and we're ready to put everything back in. And just like that, it is all back together again and looking nice. Just have to put some carpet onto the stairs, or rug I should say, and we are all done. Very nice looking. We're really happy that it's done, and we want to really sit back now and just kind of enjoy it. And it'll be nice not having the, whoops, Tansy. It'll be really nice having it just be the hard floor instead of having the carpet that we were dealing with. It's amazing how much dirt that carpet picks up, even though you're trying to vacuum it all the time. Vacuums just do not pull all of it out of there. So anyway, so that will end this video. We'll just plan on hopefully catching you on down the road somewhere. And if not, we'll just catch you on our next video. But for now, we're going to say goodbye. So take care.